So I'm going to get this blade, a knackered old rusty, half used blade. I'm just going to score a scratch in this boot lid, which is probably going to make a few of you queeze a little bit. So we're just going to pause the video there while I just take a couple of seconds just to explain exactly what this video is about and why it's going to be excellent value for anybody that watches it. I'm sure you'll be delighted to know that I can show you a really cool technique that nobody's talking about on YouTube. I ain't seen any videos that are covering this that could probably save you an absolute fortune with your car and also make it much more aesthetically pleasing. In fact, I would say that most damage on most cars, probably 95 to 98%, is actually fully repairable using this method, and I'm going to show you during this video exactly how you can do it yourself. Fully DIY, fully what you can do at home, and it's only going to cost you a very, very, very small amount of money and a very small amount of time. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So, plenty to be getting on with. As you can see, we're going to try and save you guys some money, try some methods, and basically we need to try and get this car looking like a nice little low mileage car, don't we? So as you can see, the rear quarter on this car is scuffed on the swage line. It's obviously gone down something down the side of it and it's scuffed the paint, it's damaged it, it's left a nasty white scratch mark down it. Not the worst damage on the car, but definitely standing out and letting it down. The damage continues further on in the panel, and it's also caught the edge where the wheel arch ends, and we're just brushing some of this solution into it. All will be revealed, just carry on watching the video. I'm just going to put some of it down that edge, just fill up that bit of damage. I next moved forward to the front of the vehicle, and just underneath the indicator bulb there is quite a deep scratch. It's gone right into the clear coat, it's really white, it's really letting the panel down. The customer thought, oh, I'm going to have to get this resprayed, but we're going to get rid of it without respraying. As you can see, I'm brushing some more of that solution into the scratch. So there's the before, there's the after, clearly a massive difference. The driver's side rear bumper had some really typical damage where something's gone down the side of it, or it's bumped into something, maybe another car, and the worst bit is the swage line right on the edge, because that's obviously protruding out, so it's caught that the worst, but it's also left some deep-ish lines down the swage edge of the arch. So we've just used the solution again to touch that in. A little bit more on the rear bumper, the same panel, and as you can see, it's just magically disappearing before our eyes. So that was the rear quarter that we touched in earlier on in the video, and as you can see, it's still standing out because the rest of the panel is quite dull and faded, so we're going to sort that out. So at this point, I'm sure you're absolutely dying to know what I've put on the panel to get rid of those scratches. It's actually clear coat, it's lacquer. As mentioned earlier on in the video, I'd say that on most cars, doesn't matter what condition, normally about 95 to 98% of the scratches and the damage on it, they're actually just within the clear coat. So it doesn't need a respray for a start, which is good news. Secondly, it doesn't need any base coat matching to the car, that's also good news. Thirdly, we can just brush some more of it in and pretty much make the scratch invisible again. So what I've done here is I've left that overnight to dry, and at the minute it's standing out because the rest of the panel has still got some scuffs on it, lighter scuffs, and it's also not as shiny as the new clear coat lacquer that we've put in. So I've let it dry overnight, and then we're just buffing it, and as you can see, without any special skills or anything, that's blended in lovely. So I'm just moving the camera around just to get as many angles as possible. As you can see, that is what I would call a repair. There's the before, the after. It's not bad, is it? So we're going to move on to something even better now. So we've got this rusty blade, still very sharp, and we're just going to damage the paint. So we're now going to go back to where we began with the video, where we caused that deep scratch with the blade. Now, as mentioned before, we're actually applying lacquer, clear coat lacquer to the area. So rather than removing the lacquer, we're adding more product to the area. Okay, so this particular lacquer I'm using is from Paint Gear Products. There'll be a link somewhere in the video and in the description of the video. It doesn't have to be their lacquer, that's just the one that I'm using. It's a 2K lacquer, so it's got two components, so it's regarded as the best lacquer that you can get. But whatever you can get your hands on. At this point now, yeah, we've filled it, we've added extra product, but we want to make it look a lot better than that, so I'm going to introduce to you now another stage to it that's going to make this look pretty much flawless. So one cool thing we can do is we can sand this down and level it with the existing lacquer, and then after that we can polish it. So I'll just show you that process now. It's got a bit of 1500 paper wrapped around the block, 1500, just a bit of soapy water in a bottle, and we're just going to rub over that. What we're doing is we're just leveling out the lacquer that we've put in. Now it's important when you're doing any wet sanding work and polishing work to always check the progress. As you can see, we've just let that dry, so we've sanded it with 1500 and then just dried it with a cloth or a paper towel, and we can see that we need to do a little bit more sanding. Right, we're just going to check that. Now it's starting to look really nice and level, nice and flush with the existing clear coat layer, and hopefully it should have filled that scratch that I intentionally put in to show you. So I've just sanded that with 1500, followed by 2000, followed by 3000, which anyone that's seen my other videos should be familiar with this process by now. If not, go and check out some of my other videos. So for those that have seen this kind of thing before, now we're going to get some cutting compound. I've got a little mini polisher, but you can use a drill. We love a drill on this channel, and you can convert your drill with a nice little adapter kit into a little polishing machine. Again, plenty of content on that on this channel. Have a look round if you've not seen it before. There you go. What do you think to that? Right, I'm just going to take the camera off it. Stand for a second so you can have a look from all angles. For the doubters, for the haters. Look at that. Beautiful. Yeah, look, it's not bad, is it? With a bit of lacquer, not even any colour, and a little drill with a buffing pad on it, and a tiny little tube of compound. It's not bad, is it? Now, I know what some of the comments are going to be, and that's absolutely fine. You can comment. I appreciate all the comments. Some people are going to say, particularly if they've done a bit of machine polishing or detailing or paintwork correcting, or if they're in the industry, or if they're a painter, they're going to say, oh, well, I can get rid of these scratches by just polishing. Which is true, it's true. A lot of these scratches would disappear just with polishing, but it'd also leave a lot of scratches behind. And those scratches usually appear, you know, a few days after the paintwork correcting's been done, because you've never really removed them properly. It's just your polishing oils and waxes have temporarily filled them. So just use this as perhaps another string to your bow. So if you can remember those ones on that bumper corner, I've just literally touched them up, so you can still see them if you look closely. But you know when someone's walking around the car to buy it or whatever, or whatever, you know, if you're not bothered about it being perfect, they look alright as they are, you know, just touched in with the lacquer and then given a quick polish, which you can do with a buffing machine or a drill or whatever you've got, and it just tidies it up. Do you know what I mean? It was all down there. It looks a lot better, and that's just with lacquer. That's without even using any colour match base coat or anything like that. So here we go, guys. Here she is, all completed. So we're just going to have a quick walk around the car, see what we've done, see what we've saved. So all that was all scratched down there. If you remember, we touched it in with lacquer and then buffed it. Sorted this bumper corner out, touched it in, polished it. That looks a hell of a lot better. Did a bit of buffing and touch-up work down this side. Door edges looking good. If you remember that quarter, it was all scratched all the way down. We touched that up with lacquer and then buffed it. Remember that bumper corner? That looked like it needed paint. We've touched that up with lacquer, polished it up. You just can't see it. Again, saved a respray. Remember the boot lid scratches that we put in? It's fully gone. So there we go, guys. I've given you a tour around the car. What a difference it's made, and very little money spent on it. We only had to paint the wing mirror. Probably could have got away with that, but I just wanted to make it look right. And yeah, there we go. Hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Click subscribe, like the video, leave us a comment. Plenty more content coming. Appreciate everybody that watches. Thank you. Goodbye. As mentioned just then, guys, if you could help us out by hitting subscribe, press the like button, leave a comment, it really helps the algorithms. I'm trying to do more stuff with this channel. I've got loads planned, and I appreciate you all. Thank you.